Hello, good morning and welcome to the AM News with me, Mapisa Sibiri. In our first story, the Majority Leader, Osei Chairman Sabonsu, says the resolve of his side to endorse the passage of the e-levy is because they are standing with the Republic. In the view of the Swami MP, the approval of the e-levy will redirect the economy on the path of progress. His comment comes after the Minority Leader, Haruna Jesu, insisted that his side of the House will stand with the people of Ghana to reject the e-levy. Mr. Jesu has been speaking on the floor of the House.
Order 53, Standing Order 53, but in particular, Standing Order 160. Mr. Speaker, I'm raising this issue so that the Leader of Government Business will provide clarity and certainty to an important matter of public interest and for purposes of the Ghanaian economy and fiscal consolidation. Mr. Speaker, Order 1602 provides, maybe I should just read one. There shall be a business committee consisting of members, that's not my interest, but Hansard to look at it. It shall be the function of the committee subject to Order 53, Order of Business, to determine the business of each sitting and the order in which it shall be taken. E-levy. And for the second reading of the e-levy, to debate the principles of the e-levy. Mr. Speaker, we need to know, earlier on when we adopted the business statement for the previous week, the e-levy we were told would have been introduced tomorrow. Now we get it introduced on Friday. And then today, as I watch the order of business pursuant to Standing Order 53, I do not see anything relating to the e-levy. Mr. Speaker, on this important matter, there can be no surprises. So we want the Leader of Government Business to lead us through. When will it be, if it's to be reintroduced, a new bill, or Article 106, the bill is gazetted for us to know, or we are continuing wanting under Article 106 to suspend our standing order to take it as a matter of urgency. Mr. Speaker, members need to know, because on this matter, as we have publicly said, we want to stand with the public in our opposition and rejection of the bill. We don't want to be taken by surprises. So let the Leader of Government Business indicate to us when the bill will come to Parliament and in what form we should anticipate or expect it.
Responding to the Minority Leader, the Majority Leader, Osei Chairman Sabonsu, assured that a determination will be made in the shortest time on when the House will debate the policy of the levy.
I said, if we're able to conclude the discussions. Now, the course of the discussion facilitated the introduction in the House on Friday. And the Speaker, as you all witnessed, we couldn't make much progress, which is why I said to us that if we couldn't, then it will come to this week. The Speaker, even before walking in here, the Minority Leader, who is the ranking member of the Bills Committee, asked about the status, and I told him that we will come to some determination, even though it's been advertised for tomorrow. So you look at the supplementary order paper today. The Speaker, you will see the provisional order paper. You will see it advertised for tomorrow. But even that, I told him that we need to confer on that because to all intents and purposes, we may not be able to do it tomorrow. So he asked whether that was an assurance. And I said to him that that is double assurance. That certainly it will not come off tomorrow. But we'll determine when him and then we agree on a common date. The Speaker, the Minority Leader is adding that they have taken a position, that they want to stand with the public to reject the e-levy. And he says that with all emphasis. The Speaker, we on this side want to stand with the Republic to ensure the revitalization of the economy. We want to stand with the Republic to ensure the revitalization of the economy. If people want to see the collapse of the economy, so be it for them. We want to stand with the Republic.
Economist Kwame Pian says until members of Ghana's parliament apologize to the nation for their recent exchange of blows and misconduct on the floor of parliament, he will never refer to them as honourable. Speaking at the launch of the John Evans Atta Mills Memorial Heritage Atta Mills.
Most of the politicians now will not dare. They will say the supporters will kill us. We are terrified of the supporters we have. We've militarized them. Foot soldiers, we are scared of them. Invisible forces, boot for boot. This is what we are inheriting now, the children in parliament. I now refuse to address any parliamentarian as honorable. It was aspirational, they are dimming. So I will not address any of them as honorable until they apologize to the nation. Professor Mills was always looking at the other side. How many, he didn't see political colors. How many of you remember when he was campaigning and he went to Ewisa, the constituency of Yaosafo Mafo and Ejay Mafo? He opted to sleep in the house of similar houses next door to one another. We are paralyzed. We need people to go across the political divide. And Mills definitely have crossed the political divide.
Former President John Dramani Mahama, who was sworn in right after John Atta Mills died, says this is his first time he speaks about his late boss on a public platform.
Dull and hazy nation in sorrow, anguish, and in tears. And my following reminiscences are the first time I'm talking publicly of this sad event. That fateful day, I had been alerted that I would be asked to act because Prof was likely to travel to Nigeria. I was informed by his secretary, Sir James Beba-Mensah, that he had requested specifically that I stand in for him at the official launch of the Brand Ghana project, which was to take place at the International Conference Center. I attended that function with the Chief of Staff, Mr. John Martin Newman. Upon our return to the castle, which at that time was still then the seat of government, as I proceeded to my office, I asked Chief of Staff Martin Newman to inform Prof that I was going to cross over and see him to discuss a few important issues after meeting with a former president who was waiting in my office. Moments at the 7th Military Hospital in an emergency. I wrapped up my meeting with the former president and prepared my staff to rush to the hospital. It was then that Sir James Beba-Mensah entered my office and delivered the devastating news. Prof dead. How? How can Prof die? Were the questions I asked. The world came to a standstill. Nothing in my political life and experience had prepared me for a moment like this. The shelter of working under Prof had been a wonderful experience. His death left me in trepidation of stepping up to the plate, realizing the huge responsibility one was stepping into, and that the buck was going to stop with me and no one else. The swearing-in ceremony was a blur, and I struggled to complete my acceptance speech without breaking down in front of a sorrowful nation. When I left the podium, I missed my way back and went and sat back in my vice presidential seat until the uproar from the MPs.
Camphor is scientists has revealed consumers of street-vended fufu and fried rice may be suffering from ailments caused by the presence of camphor in their foods. The research found dangerous levels of camphor in these foods. Joy News medical reporter Dr. Netta Pasram speaks with the lead scientist, Dr. Gloria Matanda Ankar Brewu of the Department of Food Science and Nutrition, KNUST.
Yes, camphor, I've been using it for a very long time. I use it in my room. It gives a very good odor when you put it inside your room. It drives away insects like mosquito, cockroaches, and ants. It's very good at times. I also put it in my water.
Naphthalene is the main ingredient in camphor, which is commonly used by locals for water purification. Do you know it has several side effects? From skin irritations to gastrointestinal problems such as diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, and some neurological problems such as confusion and convulsions. Yes.
Naphthalene, I'm sure we are all familiar with on our eyes and helps us even go blind with age.
The scientists found that the concentrations of camphor in hot pepper sauce and fried rice was as high as 6,500 milligrams per kilogram.
The polyaromatics that was mostly identified in all the researches that have followed later, we realized that naphthalene is also one of the high effect overnight. They want to try and then sediment the debts that are in it. So they use the aluminum ball, the naphthalene balls to sediment the debt. And so by so doing, though it's hydrophobic, it doesn't dissolve easily, but it has a lower rate of dissolution. So slowly, after it's there for a very long time, by the time you realize it has dissolved completely in the water, and then we are adding more naphthalene balls. Naphthalene is repellent. We reduce that a lot.
They also recommend the review of policies that govern the use of camphor in food preparation processes. Reporting for Joy News, Dr. Netta Pasram.
Some heads of senior high schools in the central region say they are compelled to use tricycles to go to school because of the unavailability of vehicles in the schools. Many schools are said to be struggling with many heads using their private vehicles to run the schools. At a handing over of some buses and pick employed on the government to assist such schools. Richard Kwajonyako has more in this report.
Many of the schools in the central region have been in dire need of vehicles to support the academic and administrative activities at the various schools. At a brief ceremony to hand over some buses and pickups to some senior high schools in the central region, immediate past Central Regional Chairperson of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High Schools, Cecilia Jo, revealed the picture of how some heads use tricycles to go to school to perform their functions, while others have to use the outcomes.
It has not been easy. Some heads, and even as one, has been working with our own vehicles for almost 6 years. And this is the 7th year before having the vehicle. We thank God so much. We are so grateful to the NPP government for fulfilling its promise that when they come in power, they're going to provide the logistics for the schools. Gradually they are on it, and it's a good sign. But Honorable Minister, as we said, there are 76 schools, but there are some schools in dire need as well. A school like Bontrase, here in Cape Coast, Ghana National, they are suffering a Futu Christ the King Academy.
Central Regional Minister Justina Marigodasan assured the schools government was committed to improving their situations. She was optimistic government would resource such schools that are facing such challenges.
And the teachers who don't also have, want to promise them it will not end here. We'll take the necessary steps to go to the minister to ask for more for those heads who have not received these vehicles. Should also urge them to do their work and do it very well. You needed vehicles because your works were were suffering. Now you have them. So this should propel you to move a step ahead and step further to make sure the performance we want in the region is also improved. We will do everything in our capacity to support your work.
In all, 17 vehicles comprising 8 buses and 9 pickups were handed over to some of the schools in the region. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejunyako, Cape Coast.
Ghana is one of the countries with the highest level, the A-scooter. For disabled people, the device made from plywood and reusable plastic materials is only one of the items that 17-year-old Samuel Abaje has made. Justice Bedu went to meet him.
My name is Samuel Abaje. I'm 17-year-old boy. I attend school at Agri Road, JSS.
Samuel is a genius. At 17, he has wowed many building
I live in Tema. You see the community is very dirty, and also it's full of plastic and other things. So I want to build a company that will help the youth and also to reuse the plastic to make something.
He has made a scooter, a refrigerator, a Bluetooth speaker, and many, many more, using stuff as basic as...
Get to your windows, they will lift, so I decided to do a Bluetooth speaker with the gallons so that it cannot be found in the gallons around the environment and other stuff. In Ghana here, we don't use the sun to do anything. We don't use it to, but we can use a solar panel to power because solar panel is renewable and it is readily available. So we can use it for another. It has to be powered by solar panel, and because the solar panel, when you are going and the solar panel will just charge it, and when the battery gets low, you just have to stop somewhere and just say you are pressing your phone, and 10 minutes later you can move.
My name is David Samhagan and I teach science at Agri Road 2 JHS.
Samuel by his science teacher at the local school where he recently graduated from.
I need him to be put in a higher education, that is where he can build his capacity electrically and every stuff about building or inventing his own models, because he's having so much in him that whatever we are seeing is just like 10% of what he can do. Trust me, he can do more if he's put...
And hopes to better his skills soon. Samuel intends to take his innovation to the world and to show that so much could be done with so little. Justice Bedu, Joy News, Tema.
And that's how we end the AM News. For more news, you can log into myjoyonline.com. My name is Mapisa CBD. The AM show continues with Benjamin Akakpo.